That cuts the team score to 7-3, and already we are in 142 pounds. It's Ryan Vratil for Central Oklahoma against Boyce Voorhees. Voorhees, a freshman out of Sturgis. What a story this kid is.
He is just a tremendous athlete, very successful wrestler. Started out this year just on fire, ran up a string of 14 straight wins. Had a little trouble lately. He's lost 5 straight. So I know he'd like to get things turned around tonight, but it's not going to be easy against Ryan Vratil, the number 7 ranked wrestler, a senior, returning All-American, who also beat one of those 5 losses of Voorhees' was against Vratil just back in January and down at the national duels. Vratil won by a takedown in overtime. We might have another overtime match tonight.
Well, you know, they weren't sure who they might have against Voorhees at this weight class. And Boyce's response was, well, I don't care who, I've got to beat whoever I wrestle. And you can't get, and you know this, RJ, you can't get ready for a particular wrestler, because when you do that, then you set yourself up. So Voorhees' attitude is, I just got to do my best.
And Boyce Voorhees, just like I said, very talented athlete, very tough to score on, very, very tough on his feet. He's in on a good leg attack here. Vratil basically just trying to hang on, again trying to get out of bounds over there on using the edge.
Yeah, what a struggle. But Voorhees, if he keeps, no, he's got him up, well, he had him up off the floor. He's got to turn him over now. But Vratil with that leg lock, the crowd just imploring Voorhees on.
And there's finally a stalemate called by the official. No points awarded. The crowd unhappy with the call. I tend to agree with it. Voorhees never was able to actually break free of Vratil's lock and get full control. So I agree with that call.
Well, I tell you what, Assistant Athletic Director Bill Dannenauer was up on his feet on that one. And the crowd didn't enjoy that call much either.
I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with the crowd here tonight. They're excited about this matchup.
Let's go center, guys.
Both teams are obviously very excited about the matchup.
And I'll tell you, the local media has done a good job this week to basically promo this matchup. Done an excellent, excellent job.
You know, UNO went down to Edmond, Oklahoma last month and upset Central Oklahoma. You got to call it an upset when Central Oklahoma was the number 1 ranked team at the time. Not to mention the fact that they had won 53 straight home matches, and UNO put an end to that with a 25-16 victory. So I'm sure, like you said earlier, there'd be a little bit of revenge factor.
You know, I know a lot of coaches don't coach revenge, but as an individual athlete, you got to be thinking about that, especially if you lost your match.
Get aggressive.
Without a doubt. And again, like I was talking earlier, these matches are very critical for seeding when it comes down to the national tournament, because most of these guys we're going to see are all going to see each other again at the national tournament. And what you do here in this duel might decide whether or not, you know, you might be the 2nd seed or the 3rd seed. It makes a big difference when it comes to the national tournament.
We're done with the first period. The Mavericks trail team points 7-3 to Central Oklahoma, but there's no score in this match at 142 pounds between the Mavericks, Boyce Voorhees, and the Broncos' Ryan Vratil. You know, a lot of people might not realize this, although those who do follow college wrestling, it really is a closed community, because as you say, a lot of the guys you see during the regular season or the dual season or in any of the opens, you're going to see in national.
Or neutral.
That's right. These two teams have seen each other at least 2 open tournaments that I know of earlier in the year. Then they saw each other at the national duels down in Edmond last month, and this will be the 4th time they've seen each other. And
Vratil, by the way, got a 1 point for an escape, so he leads at 1-0.
Vratil, again, like I said, he's a senior, a little bit more experienced, although Voorhees, a redshirt freshman, actually in his 3rd year here at UNO. His first year he came here, got a hardship ruling. His father passed away back up in Sturgis, South Dakota, so he went home for the rest of the year to be with his family, and decided he wasn't done wrestling yet, came back, redshirted last year, and jumping into the frying pan here this year. And A little bit, I'm a little surprised that he's unranked at this point. Those last 5 matches, those last 5 losses really hurt him. Otherwise, I think he'd be ranked very high at this point. He's had a little bit of, you see him, he takes injury time here, as I was just going to mention. He's had a little bit of injury problems this year. Again, you look at most of the guys we're seeing tonight, they got over 30 matches already under their belt. Voorhees only has 19. Was out earlier in the year with a knee injury, and then last week was out with a slight concussion that he incurred wrestling Chris Blair in practice last week.
Here we go, guys.
Not only is it intense during these matches, but the practices get a little heated, too.
Well, I mean, we've had concussions suffered in practices and everything else. The one thing I like about Voorhees is his whole approach just to wrestling. His attitude is just tremendous. He got poked in the eye. Of course, bloody noses and eye pokes are, I mean, that's just something you have to expect. That comes with the territory when you're in wrestling.
Open up, guys.
Voorhees, very similar to Brahman Creighton, can be very explosive when he wants to. The thing he really needs to do in order to dominate in this level is he's got to open up. If he opens up, turns his attack on, I don't think anybody in the country can hang with him, to be honest with you. But if he just sits back and waits, that's when he gets himself in a little bit of trouble.
Coming down to 15 seconds. A 1-0 lead for Vratil, and here at 142 pounds.
Ryan Vratil placed 8th last year at the national.
We got a warning, green.
Vratil placed 8th last year at the national tournament. Broke his ankle at the national tournament and ended up having a default down to 8th place. Still got All-American honors. Brady had to walk up to the the podium on crutches, but he still got that All-American plaque, and that was at 134 pounds. He's moved up this year to 142. I'm sure he'd like to improve on that 8th place finish. He was a junior college transfer as well from Garden City, Kansas.
Start, bottom. Here we go.
Voorhees chooses the bottom. But then, of course, Vratil with that international open. We're tied at 1 with the escape.
Riding time is actually at 1 second, so that's not a factor.
Not at this point, anyway.
Vratil in on a single leg attempt here. Again, they're over there on the edge. No points awarded. Vratil was only able to hang on to 1 leg. If he would have been able to control both of Voorhees' legs in that situation, he possibly could have got the 2-point takedown. But
well, at the start, RJ, I thought maybe Voorhees was going to be in trouble because Vratil did have a hold of 1 leg, but he got Voorhees' other foot up off the mat. And but you get both your points up off the mat, I mean, you're in trouble.
But Voorhees is, that's just a classic example of the good balance and agility that he has on it, able to fight off that takedown even though both his feet were off the mat.
Right. Well, there's a time to be aggressive, and obviously you don't want to back up, but there's a time when to pick your spots, but your point is well taken. Is
nice
low. There's the 2 points for Vratil.
Low double leg takedown by Vratil. Voorhees wincing there. Looks like either a knee or an ankle.
Well, that gives Vratil a 3-1 lead, as you can see right in front of us here.
That right knee is the one that they're attending to.
Check on time. What's he use?
I'm not sure if they're attending to his ankle or his knee. Looks like the ankle. His right knee is the one that was hurt earlier in the year, so I'm sure there's a shot of Ron Higdon and Coach Denny there in the background. I'm sure they don't want to see Voorhees go down with an injury at this point in the season. I mean, we're only talking a couple weeks left before the conference tournament and then on to the national tournament.
45.
Well, and he went down, too, immediately. As soon as the whistle blew, you could tell he was in pain.
Vratil was able to, that was a nice low double leg attack by Vratil. He was able to get the takedown. Voorhees getting up, limping, walking it off a little bit. I think he's ready to go. Used about a minute of his injury time. He's trailing 3-1 now.
So he'll start off the bottom again. He'll probably get that 1 point escape. We'll see how it works. Well, no, not this time.
There's a caution against Vratil. That's his first one.
Well, Vratil decided to do the traditional start, whereas before he just let Voorhees up.
I think he's gonna try to build up a little bit of riding time at this point. 56 seconds left. He'd be real happy if he could ride Voorhees out here. Voorhees up in a stand-up, trying to break the grip of Vratil, unable to do it before Vratil lifts him and brings him back down.
Oh, nice turnaround.
Nice escape. Nice escape by Boyce Voorhees.
Green, you have been warned. You got to work.
So did he get the point for that?
Coach Mike Denny calling the official over to the table. I don't think the clock stopped when they went out of bounds.
It should be 39.
They're going to add 5 more seconds on to this period.
All right.
They're going to hold the clock for 5 seconds before they start it.
Vratil leads 3-2, by the way, in this 142-pound match, but Central Oklahoma leads the team scoring 7-3. Now we're under half a minute to go in this period.
Boyce Voorhees really on the attack. Vratil ends up getting in on a single leg attempt, unable to finish. Voorhees trying a little cutback counter move there. Voorhees can't. Oh, another takedown on the edge for Vratil.
Well, those edge points you talk about, that increases Vratil's lead now to 5-2.
That was a big mistake there by Boyce Voorhees, giving up a takedown with just a few ticks of the clock left in the period. But we're going to end up that way. With the final score, Ryan Vratil 5, Boyce Voorhees 2. That again was one of the matches that I said could be a toss-up and could be critical in this final matchup. So far, out of my three toss-up matches, we've split. So 158 will be critical, as now we're moving into 150.
Okay, here we get a look at that, RJ.
That final takedown. Oh, that was the one where Voorhees did hurt the ankle. That basically was the takedown that won the match, though, right there.
Uh-huh.